Tēnā koutou katoa, e mihi mahana, he mihi, aroha kia koutou. Warm greetings to you all. Ko Rebekah Harman tōku ingoa. My name is Rebekah Harman.
Ko Elna Fourie tōku ingoa. My name is Elna Fourie.
So we're both senior academic staff members at the Waikato Institute of Technology in Kirikiriroa, Hamilton, Aotearoa, New Zealand.
As part of our role, both Rebekah and I work in the teaching team at Te Tumu Haringa Whakaaro or Aotearoa Design Factory, New Zealand, which is one of nearly 40 design factories around the world. And while we're all different in scale and focus around the world, we've got shared ways of learning through experiential pedagogy, problem-based learning, and passion-based learning. One of the programs that Rebekah and I teach on, we work with students in their final year of their bachelor degree, and we have students come from across our institution. So we put together cross-disciplinary teams, and we get them to work on challenges which are set by industry or community partners. The approach we get them to take with these projects across our 16-week program focuses on human-centered approaches to problem solving and using skills like empathy to research, investigate, and produce reasoned and critical responses to those challenges.
So what is empathy and why do we teach it? We've got an up-to-date definition there of what empathy is, and that is looking at a really wide source of hundreds of different definitions worldwide. But as we know, due to globalization and the knowledge economy, there is a new set of work-focused skills that are required, including empathy. And we know that these sort of skills that are often called soft skills are important when gaining employment. There are 4 pedagogical interventions that we want to talk to you about today, and they are listed here. The first up is empathy interviews. So we introduced empathy interviews in week 3 of a 16-week program. So empathy interviewing is a tool for understanding users or stakeholders that are central to a complex problem. Here we send out learners to interview a range of different people who are affected by the problem that they're given, and it's an opportunity for them to understand the human aspect to the problem and human experiences. Students have to use the tool. So what we've done here is looked at data over a 3-year period. We've looked at student feedback, like the quote given there, and collated keywords and ideas from the feedback given, and that's how we've begun to analyse the information. You can see here from the student perspective, using the empathy interviews, they have a ability to understand others and empathise with others. It also improves communication skills. From a tutor perspective, we've seen an increased ability to understand complex problems from someone else's perspective and a growing awareness of a researcher's place and their own bias. We notice many students are increasingly able to see their world as being different from others through being asked to go out and interview a variety of different people.
A second intervention we have comes in the form of emotional intelligence workshops, where we host a trained facilitator who's external to the design factory, and who works with the students to reflect on their emotional intelligence through an activity-based session. The Roche-Martin framework includes 10 competencies of emotional intelligence, and empathy is one of those. And we usually cover empathy early on in the semester as the groups are forming and as they're engaging in some of those early parts of the project, like empathy interviewing. They have opportunities during the workshop to talk about the findings with their group, but also to reflect afterwards by themselves. Based on our feedback from students, what we've noticed is that they enjoy the activity as something different, as it's an opportunity that they don't always get to think about and to talk about their own strengths and weaknesses. And we also see how they start building their understanding of the impact of their actions on others, but also on how others impact them. From tutors' perspectives, we notice that it's not only that self and other awareness that increases, but the activity actually helps the students with a shared vocabulary to be able to talk about those strengths and weaknesses. The third intervention we have comes in the form of personal development plans, where we get the students to identify areas within future focus skills that they want to focus on and work at during the semester. They set some goals early on in the semester with a coach or a tutor to help develop ideas on how they're going to develop these skills. And during the semester, they check in and reflect on intentional ways that they are working away at these skills. And often they're around developing their teamwork skills, their social intelligence skills, and similar types of things. With the feedback from students, what we identify is that they enjoy this assessment as a way of being able to improve themselves. It's also that self-awareness improvement that we've seen in other interventions, and also that understanding of others, which they're improving. It's something that we can see has a benefit to the students, and that the feedback we're getting from students indicates that it's a positive experience for them.
The final pedagogical intervention that we wanted to talk about today is facilitated team feedback. So typically we introduce this in week 7, then again if required. We use the I like, I wish method, which is found at ilikeIwish.org. It's a facilitated team feedback activity where members of a team engaging in a creative project get to provide and receive both positive and constructive feedback in written as well as spoken format. Sessions are processed in a safe and systematic way. The format was developed by Satu Rebekah, who is at Aalto Design Factory, part of Aalto University in Finland. She's run this process through dozens of sessions since she came up with the method in 2011. Ideally, you want to use a staff member who does not know the students particularly well to encourage open conversations and the ability to explore what's going well and what's not going so well within a group dynamic. You're aiming for improved communication and empathy for how others operate. From the student feedback, you can see here that primarily they begin to understand how others function better, how to work with others. It's an opportunity for them to practice empathy and work together better. And there is also self-growth happening at the same time. From a tutor perspective, we often see an improved group dynamic, which is wonderful to see.
As part of our approach, we've also been doing research recently to look not only at the feedback comments that students provide, but also self-ratings that they give themselves around these future focused skill areas, taken at the start of the course and at the end of the course. This particular set of data represents 4 semesters worth of Design Factory. What's really heartening for us to see from a tutor's perspective is that students are rating their skill sets higher at the end of the course than they did at the start of the course. And that's despite not being able to see what they originally rated themselves. So for us, this indicates that there is something that's working in terms of developing these skills for them.
So we believe that it is possible to teach soft skills such as empathy. And it's important to look at ways to integrate these into the program in an authentic way and be quite explicit when you're teaching these and explaining the new learning as you go with the students. That's why we agree with Paul Snape's summary of delivering of soft skills.
So overall, we believe that these types of pedagogical interventions have resulted in some trackable individual growth for students, and that we can see a deeper understanding that they have for the value of empathy, not only in solving complex problems and challenges, but also a greater understanding of how to use those types of skills to create positive working environments within a multidisciplinary team.
We recognise that soft skills can be harder to define for assessment purposes, but we do believe that challenging changes to programs and curriculum is required. We don't have all the answers and would love to hear what you are doing and what others might be doing to increase soft skills like empathy within design practice, teaching and pedagogy. Kia ora.
Thank you.